Hi, Andy here, and this is just one in a series of songs I'm going to be bringing you, designed at you beginner guitarists, starting out on your guitar playing journey. And if you find these lessons fun and interesting and motivational, I suggest that you check out our Guitar Coach 6-week guitar program, which is all part of our Guitar Coach Academy. So, well, without further ado, let's start with Brown Eyed Girl. Now, whenever we teach songs, what we like to be able to do is say to you, go and listen to the version of the song. Go and listen to several versions of the song. Some cover versions, Van Morrison's version, studio versions, live versions, to really get into it. And then you can use the structure that we've laid out here for you to actually follow it through, so you know where you are and what you need to do to achieve playing this song. Now, we're going to teach this at quite a high level. If you actually go into the 6-week guitar, you'll see that they are super detailed with backing tracks and everything. But this is a good way, hopefully, to get you started. So, without too much more waffle, let's have a look at the chords, which are all laid out for you in several different formats, including tab. And the chords we'll need for this, Brown Eyed Girl, are G. There, we have a C chord. We have a D chord. We have a D7 chord, and we have an E minor chord. And that's all there is to it. And there's probably 2 strumming patterns, possibly 3 strumming patterns for you to learn. Okay, so the intro, the very intro, it sort of goes playing a little lead lick there. So what I've decided to do is, I'll show you the chords over this, but what we're going to do is play the first time round single downstrokes, and the second time round we'll put a rhythm pattern to it, which I'll show you a bit later. So the chords for the intro are G, C, G, D7, and then back to G. And a sort of counting you want to be listening. If you listen to the track we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and that's played again, and that represents the intro. Okay, the actual verse is exactly the same, except we're not using a D7 chord, we'll be using a D major chord. Okay, so pretend you've played that intro fully twice, so I'll play that for you now. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and again, same counting. And then it starts with the verse, and all the verses are exactly the same. They're exactly like the intro, except we're substituting the D7 chord with a D chord. So it sounds like this. 4, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then plays that all over again. So that is the basis of the intro and the verses. Okay, so I think before we go any further, I think this is probably the time to say to you, just keep practicing it slow as you like, executing those changes within the D7 and the D sort of movement. So even if you're doing it really slowly like this is the intro. You just need to make sure all of those notes, or the notes that you should be playing for those chords, are ringing out really clearly. And I'll just do a couple on the D instead of the D7. And one more. Okay, so first thing you need to do is nail those chord changes. Now, I would actually recommend that you probably nail the other chord changes further on down the line first, but I think to give you a bit of motivation, get you going, let's look at the rhythm that we're going to be playing. So, this is the actual rhythm. I'm going to play the chords for the verse, and I'm just actually going to then mute all my songs, all my strings, so you can just hear the pattern I'm playing. Okay, so it's like this. down, down, up, down, up. Okay? Now, it's not an exact science, strumming. You know, I've watched so many live versions of this with various, Van Morrison, with various people playing with them, and sometimes they may just play a very straight pattern. If they're lazy like that, because I'm not lazy. Some people, I've actually seen it, they're playing on the electric and they're going. So there's plenty of variations, but for the purposes of this, really good practice to actually have a structured pattern. And it's down, down, up, down, up. Okay? So if we're now going to take the intro and the verse, it'll be single downstrokes for the G, C, G and D7 for the first part of the intro. Then we're going to repeat it again, this time playing the same chords, G, C, G, D7, playing the rhythm, and then it goes into the verse where we play G, C, G, D, and we play that 4 times. So what I'm going to do now, so you will then after this know how to play all the verses and the intro. So I'm not going to go through verse, verse, verse with you. You will then know how to play the intro and the verses. So we're going to do it after a count of 4. I'm going to do it quite slowly for you, starting with the downstrokes. Right, here we go then. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. D7. And we'll do it one more time, strumming. Now to the verse. One more time. We're not hitting that last D because we're actually then going to go down to the C chord. And this is what we're calling the pre-chorus. Okay? So hopefully you've got that. You're playing G, C, G, D, effectively almost 8 times. We're not going on to that last G. Okay? So hopefully you've got all that. So what I'm going to do now is play the last 2 lines of the verse and take you through what I'm calling a pre-chorus. Okay? So it's... then into the chorus. Now, I'm just going to give you a little bit of a variation here. Now, at the very intro, they definitely play a D7 chord. And through the majority of the verse, or in fact through the verse, we play a D major chord. I've seen different versions live where they, in the actual pre-chorus, sometimes using a D chord, sometimes using a D7 chord. I'm going to leave it up to you as to where you want to put that in, okay? So that's the first thing. So what we're going to do now is just run through those chords for the pre-chorus. So as I said, we're ending up on the D at the end of that verse. Then we're just going to play a C, a D and a G, or a C, a D7 and a G. I prefer the D7 on this, but leave it up to you. Promise you it doesn't sound any different whatever you do, and I guarantee Van Morrison changes it. So the first bit is, so we've ended up on that D in the verse, then we're on to the C. Same rhythm. Count to 4 on each. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we're going to hit down an E minor chord. Okay, down there. Nice big full minor chord there. And on that big full minor chord, we're going to use the same rhythm and the same counting. It's just going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. After the E minor, we're going to hit a C, then a D7. I'm going with the D7s on the pre-chorus this time, and then back to the G. Okay? So let's take it there from the last two lines of the verse into that pre-chorus. Properly this time. 1, 2, 3, 4. And ending up on that G. Now we're going into the chorus, and this is where there is a definite D7, and we're going to play that D7 chord, and we're going to sort of like gradually build it up, because it sort of like slows down a little bit now. So what I'm going to show you now is playing the pre-chorus and then into this little bit that leads into the main chorus. So it's, and then E minor, D, G, then down to D7. So it's like building it up. You can build it up down strokes, you can build it up going up and down, or you can keep the same rhythm and just build it up. And then it goes into the sha-la-la-la-la-las, which is the chorus. Okay, so hopefully you've got all that there. Use the, say, like I said about the D7s and the Ds, use them as you so wish. The good thing about the chorus, and this is what I like, is exactly the same as the verse. So the chorus basically, so I'll play the pre-chorus and then we'll go into the chorus. Okay, and then you'll see the chorus is exactly the same as the verse. Except there's a little bit at the very end I need to show you afterwards. So it's this. This is the pre-chorus. And then the build-up. Now this is again a little bit up to you. You may want to use the D7s instead of the D majors. This is one thing I love about teaching guitar, and what I love about guitar anyway. It doesn't matter if it's slightly different, because like I said before, the D7s and Ds are a little bit interchangeable in this particular song, and I've seen different people teach it differently. So don't worry about all that. The chorus, you may want to use D majors the first time and D7s the second time. It really doesn't matter. So that is the actual chorus, and that's how all the choruses go. So now you know how to play an intro with using the D7. You now know how to use the verses using the D major, and then you know how to play a pre-chorus using a D or a D7, up to you, D major or D7, and then we've got the main chorus, which are generally made up of the D majors, but if you want to use D7 you can. But just at the very end of that first chorus there's a little bit which changes. So I'm going to play the chorus, the last line of the chorus, and show you what I'm doing in the little instrumental bit in between. It just gives it a bit more flavour. Okay, so it's... back into the chorus, pre-chorus, and then the final chorus and fade out. So you now know how to play all the little bits. So I'm just going to run through that last bit with you. So when we finish playing the very, very last bit of the chorus and it goes, keep the rhythm going over 2 counts of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. But maybe keeping it down in the volume a bit. Then the bass guitar comes in, but we can actually use the bass note or the bass, the bottom E string and bottom A string of our G chord and just go, and you play that twice. So far we have, and then he starts the pattern all over again. So here we go, etc. That was terrible. And then back into the verse, pre-chorus and chorus again. Oh dear, I'm going to have a fit of the giggles now because I should never try and sing on camera. Anyway, stop laughing, it's not funny. Puts people off. Right, okay, so there you have the song. What I would suggest now, keep listening to it, look at the structures, look at the chord charts. There may possibly be a time when some of them I've maybe done one bar too less or one bar not enough, but it's all laid out for you. Listen to it time and time again, play along. I'm sure you'll have great fun. And like I say, if you really enjoy this, please check out our 6-week guitar where we teach many, many more songs like this and in infinite more detail. Anyway, that's all, and I'll see you again in the next tutorial in this series.